Hello, and this is Dork Dad Presents a comparison of the 2022 Pinocchios. Um, Both Disney and Netflix have announced they are bringing out a movie this year of Pinocchio. Disney's Pinocchio is expected to land in the fall of 2022, whereas Guillermo del Toro's Netflix movie is coming out. I believe it's December specifically, not an exact date, but December 2022. Guillermo, I know Del Toro's version is the longest in development. I believe he started the work in 2008. Um, it's been a long-standing project to try to get a producer, a company to produce the film, and a place for it to land, which is kind of crazy to think about. Um, Now I'm kind of going over the comparison of the two films here. For me, I haven't watched too many of Del Toro's movies, to be quite honest with you. Um, I know I've heard good things about Hellboy, but I haven't watched any of that. For Robert Zemeckis, I've watched a lot more of his films. Um, he and Tom Hanks have collaborated quite a bit. Um, Forrest Gump is one of them. I think one of the concerns I have is some of the movies that Tom Hanks has been in, which is like Polar Express and then another movie that Robert Zemeckis did that has to do with Christmas is the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that art. Also not a fan of the Polar Express's art. So I believe this is supposed to be the Disney version is supposed to be more of a live action, where Del Toro's kind of goes in the direction of stop motion. If that's the case, I think uh, I'm kind of split, to be quite honest, of which I feel like is the best direction to go. I think later on, at the end of this, um, I think I'll have a better understanding of where my thoughts are. But if Disney is going more the direction of the art style of the Polar Express or Christmas Carol, I will not be as excited about that as the Netflix version. So I guess moving on to Geppetto, um, which is a guy that needs no introduction with Tom Hanks, and then David Bradley, whom I think a lot of people will mostly notice him from Harry Potter, but I prefer him in Hot Fuzz. What a great British film that is. Um, but anyway, I think again it's kind of hard to guess here because I don't know the art style. Well, I guess in this case it doesn't really matter. Um, it's hard to say that anybody can have a leg up on Tom Hanks. Most of the stuff he puts out is pretty solid. I mean, he even uh, as terrible. Well, not as terrible, but I don't know how I feel about the movie Finch. At least he did an excellent job, which is basically just a movie about him. Um, for the Pinocchio characters, I don't really have a whole lot of feedback, to be quite honest. Both are young. Um, I also feel weird about looking up photos of, you know. So here we go. It's Benjamin versus Gregory. Um, not a whole lot of film experience for either. Um, I think Benjamin was in Florent. What's the squirrel movie on Disney Plus? I haven't watched that yet either, but I actually should, considering my child. But um, I think the next one is the character that I'm most it kind of appeals most to me with Jiminy Cricket. I don't know if I was a biggest fan of the movie Pinocchio, but I know I had Jiminy Cricket stuffed animals. Um, Obviously, his song "When You Wish Upon a Star" is very iconic, to say the least. I think he's just an iconic character. Now, Guillermo's is not Jiminy. I can't remember his name that Obi-Wan is playing, but it is Cricket. Um, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt is playing, or Robin, as I like to call him, is playing Jiminy Cricket in the more live action type of role. So I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know how unique I would say Joseph's voice is, to be quite honest. Ewan has that kind of voice that is more unique, more of a voice acting, I guess, voice. Um, so I'd have to lean towards his way, regardless of how I feel about Robin versus Obi-Wan. Let's just disregard that because obviously I agree with Obi-Wan, but we'll kind of have to look at that. The next in my line of the list, I guess, is to sort of say is the coachman. We have oh, now I'm having a blank. It's Luke Evans who plays in Beauty and the Beast. Gaston. There we go. Versus Blake Nelson, who I've heard good things about his show that he just had streaming. Oh gosh. Um, Obviously, I know him most from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou." He's got a very unique voice. Is older dude. It's kind of strange to have Luke as the coachman, as you think as an older, I don't know, individual. It's almost like casting a young Alfred, um, which happened recently, huh? I would have to say I would lean towards the bottom here with Blake. With the voice now, obviously Luke's got that deeper deeper voice. Um, so I mean, you can see the voice acting there, which is maybe why that was cast. I don't know. You have to have faith in some of this. Now the next one I think is my favorite matchup. You have Key versus Christopher Waltz, which I think both of them are iconic in different ways. Waltz, you think definitely bad guy. What an I like he just I don't know. It's for me it's very hard to not pick Christopher Waltz. But man, Key. I mean, that's a strange thing about this casting is like you got him and then you got Key that um, kind of brings out that more humorous aspect of that. So it's kind of strange to see the fox played in these um, two different ways here. So I think this is gonna be the most. I think the character that's the most different the most. What you know what I mean? Um, I don't. That's where it's hard for me to pick, right? Because they are not the same in any way. There's no way that I look at Key and I'm like, yeah, I'm scared. I mean, no offense, man. No offense. But it's just not happening. Christopher Waltz, man, I don't know. It'd be hard for me not to think that. And then you got the fairy, which you got Tilda versus Cynthia, who I believe is mostly known for The Walking Dead versus the Sorcerer Supreme, or the used to be. Um, Interesting though, I did see that Cynthia was just cast in Wicked, so I finally get to see that since I'll never go to New York and watch that. So uh, anyway, I digress. It'll be kind of interesting both of these with the fairies. I don't know. I'm just staring right now to see which one I prefer. I mean, I know Tilda a lot more from the films, so but I can definitely see Cynthia as being a strong fairy here. So I don't know. It's a weird sentence to think. Bring that out of context, please, and use it against me. Um, what's not listed here, which I'm kind of upset, is the dogfish. I mean, maybe it's because they're both using Alan Tudyk. I'm just kidding. That's not a confirmation. I'm just fan casting myself because Alan Tudyk can do quite a bit. Um, no, side note, I did catch a dogfish back when I was a wee little lad. I had a bunch of fish in a fish net just waiting in the water for me to take them out. I didn't want the fish to die yet. Um, heard some splashing. I'm like, what the heck is that? I go over there and there's dogfish just stuck in the netting. And all the rest of my fish were just loose. They all were released. It was one of those nets where you can pop your hand through the bottom anyway. So all the other fish that we caught were gone, but we left the dogfish. We did try that. Not the best. I prefer the fish. Anyway, so I think overall it's kind of strange to see these two movies coming after. I think Del Toro's is going to be a little darker. I think Zemeckis Disney's version is going to be more on point to what the Disney 1940 movie was. Not saying shot for shot, but probably close to it. I didn't see anything about singing, so it could be like Mulan, where there's not really any of the old type of music. Now, it will be interesting because obviously movies from 1940 are produced a little bit differently now. Some of the things aren't as acceptable, such as regardless if he's a wooden kid, he's still a kid. Don't know in the Disney Plus version if we're gonna see drinking, gambling, smoking, maybe just mischievous kid. So that might be one detail that's kind of a little bit different here. Whereas I think Del Toro is going to lean more towards the original book, which obviously Disney used as a reference point back in 1940, but it's not even close to being the same. Now, again, what I haven't seen yet is Del Toro's list of every character, and that's probably for a reason. But the book itself has a huge list of animals that were used in the film, like different character run-ins. Um, like there's the fox, obviously the fox and the cat here that were misleading, but then there's a lot of animals afterwards where in the Disney Plus version or the Disney version, it's really not like that. I saw a quote which is kind of interesting that the Pinocchio was or is Italian's most copied book or most translated book of all time. Second second of all time, second to the Bible. But it's interesting. It's that high up there. I was not really aware of that until the recent reviews. So I think on an overall scale, I think I'm actually leaning towards the Netflix version of this film because I think it's going to be darker. I think it's going to be more unique. I think if you've watched any of our videos before about me ranting and raving about remakes, especially Disney Plus remakes, I don't understand the point of most of them. If they're shot for shot, I just don't understand that. Um, And so, if that's the case, I'm definitely leaning more towards the Netflix version because it's going to be a little more unique, right? If I wanted to watch the old film, I could just do it. It's available now. I don't have to look for the VHS locked archived version anymore. Although I'm pretty positive my dad still has it. I can just go to Disney Plus, turn on the film. easy come, easy go. Let me know your thoughts on this, the comparison between the two. Are you looking more towards the Disney Plus version or the Netflix version? Um, like I said, the Disney is kind of up in the air right now for me, especially visually. Don't know if it's gonna be live action versus more of kind of a mix of live action versus whatever you want to call the Christmas Carol thing, which again, not looking forward to. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe and do all that jazz. So I will catch you in the next compare or the next video. We'll see you.